A reading doesn't begin when someone asks for one. It begins the moment their energy steps into the room. Long before a single word is spoken, I can feel whether a person is genuinely seeking clarity or simply looking for a spectacle. And more often than not, the people who approach me aren't chasing entertainment at all. Beneath the casual request, beneath the nervous laughter or the prove it attitude, there's something far more human. A quiet longing to understand their past, make sense of their present, or glimpse the possibilities of their future. But here's the truth. Most people never consider a reading isn't a performance. It isn't a trick, a party game, or something I can switch on like a light. It's an exchange, energetic, emotional, and deeply personal. And that exchange can only happen when someone is willing to slow down, open up, and meet the moment with presence. Without grounding, without intention, without even a sliver of openness, the connection becomes clouded, like trying to tune into a frequency buried under static. This is why some readings flow effortlessly, revealing exactly what someone needs to hear, while others hit a wall before they even begin. The energy a person brings, their readiness, their vulnerability, their willingness to be seen, shapes everything that can unfold. I'm often approached by people who want me to read them, and sometimes it feels like they think it's a party trick. But the moment I tune in, I can sense something deeper. They're not looking for entertainment. They're quietly hoping for answers about their past, their present, or the direction of their future. What they don't always realize is that this kind of insight doesn't happen on demand. It's not like ordering a coffee at a drive-thru and expecting it to be ready at the pickup window when you pull up. There's an energetic preparation involved, a willingness to slow down, breathe, and actually open themselves to the experience. Too often, there's no grounding, no clearing of mental clutter, no intention setting. Their mind is racing, their heart is guarded, and yet they expect clarity to appear instantly. But readings don't work that way. The energy they bring into the moment shapes what can be received. A meaningful reading requires presence, an open mind, an open heart, and a readiness to engage with whatever truth comes forward. Without that, it's like the signal's there, clear and steady, but the noise of doubt, fear, or resistance drowns it out. I did a reading a few months ago that perfectly illustrated everything I've been saying about preparation and openness. It started innocently enough, just a casual get-together at a restaurant on a hot day, everyone grabbing a quick refreshment. Our server came over, and the moment she stepped into our space, I could feel what she was carrying. I didn't go deep or pry into anything personal, but I shared a few things I was sensing. She immediately confirmed them, almost with relief, and then had to rush off to serve other tables. It was a brief exchange, but it was real, honest, and energetically open. This happens to me quite a lot. One of the people with me, though, didn't believe a word of it. In their mind, what I had just done was either a joke, a trick, or some kind of lucky guess. And because they were skeptical, they wanted proof. They wanted me to read one of them right there at the table, as if I could just flip a switch and perform on command. And by the way, this also happens very often to me. But as I've said before, a reading isn't a magic show. It requires openness, grounding, and a willingness to let your guard down. In their case, they had already decided I couldn't do it. Their skepticism wasn't quiet. It was a wall, a mental block, a refusal to participate in the process. And when someone comes in with that kind of energy, there's nothing to read. It's like trying to see through a window that someone has deliberately covered with blackout curtains. So instead of trying to convince them or force something that wasn't there, I simply told them the truth. I couldn't see anything with them. And in that moment, it clicked for me. Some people will always doubt in public because doubt feels safer than vulnerability. But deep down, even the loudest skeptics often carry quiet questions they're afraid to ask. Questions about their past, their present, or what might be waiting for them in the future. Not everyone is ready to be read. Not everyone is willing to open the door. And that's okay. A reading can only meet someone at the level they're willing to show up. There's a particular pattern I've noticed over the years, and it never fails to reveal itself. The skeptics, the ones who challenge, question, and demand proof, are often the same people who will never acknowledge when something I've said lands with them. Even when the message is precise, even when it touches a memory they've never spoken aloud, even when our energy shifts in that unmistakable way that tells me spirit has reached them, they shut it down. They dismiss it. They pretend it didn't happen. Not because it wasn't real, but because admitting it would require them to step into a level of vulnerability they're not ready for. For some people, doubt feels safer than the truth. Doubt keeps them in control. Doubt keeps the walls up, and doubt keeps spirit at arm's length. But here's what they don't understand. When I read, I'm not pulling information out of thin air. I'm not performing. I'm not guessing. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm simply delivering a message from spirit. A message that is already reaching toward them, already trying to make itself known in the way they are most likely to recognize. Sometimes that message comes through as numbers, sometimes as initials, sometimes as a memory, a sensation, a moment in time. Spirit speaks in a language the individual will understand, even if they don't understand it right away. And that's the part most skeptics never consider. Validation isn't always instant. Some people connect the dots in seconds. Others need minutes. Some need hours. Some need days. And some need to sit with it for much longer before the truth finally rises to the surface. That delay doesn't weaken the message. It doesn't make the reading any less accurate. It simply means the person needed time to let their guard down enough to see what Spirit was showing them. Because the validation doesn't come from me, it comes from them. From the moment something inside them recognizes the truth and says, yes, that's real. A reading is a three-way exchange. Spirit, the messenger, and the individual receiving the message. If one of those pieces is closed, blocked, or unwilling, the connection can't land the way it's meant to. And skeptics, especially the loud ones, often come in with their energy locked tight. Their mind is guarded, their heart is armored, their intention is to test, not to receive. And when someone approaches a reading like that, Spirit will still try to reach them. But they won't recognize a message even when it's placed directly in their hands. So they dismiss it. They deny it. They pretend it didn't resonate. Because admitting it would mean admitting that something beyond their logic touched them. But here's the truth I've learned. Not everyone is ready to be read. Not everyone is ready to open the door. And Spirit will never force its way through a closed heart. My role is not to convince anyone. My role is not to argue or prove or persuade. My role is to deliver the message exactly as it comes and allow the individual to meet it when they're ready. Because when they finally do, that moment of recognition becomes the true validation of Spirit's presence. And that moment always arrives in its own time. So I've learned not to chase understanding, not to force insight, and not to carry the weight of someone else's readiness. My responsibility is to deliver what comes through with integrity, compassion, and honesty. The rest, it's up to them. And when that moment arrives, whether quietly or all at once, that's where the real reading begins. So the next time you ask for a reading, remember all the things I just talked about. And most importantly, stay open, stay curious, and trust what you feel. If this episode resonated with you, click like and subscribe.